Hello everyone, my name is Mihaela and today I will present to you my summary critique. So in this presentation I will start with the introduction, following by point 1, that is the summary, following by point 2, that is the critique, and to finish I will give you guys my conclusion. So the growing disparities between urban and rural areas is an alarming problem in emerging countries. And that is exactly what the article Agadir and its rural rural environment under urban influence, stakeholder strategies, and newly globalized spaces explores. So the article was published in April 2014 in the Cahier de Géographie du Québec by Mohamed Ben Atou and Bouziane Semoud. So the article Agadir and its rural spaces under urban influences explores how urban expansion in Agadir has deeply reshaped its surrounding rural areas. Globalization is at the heart of this transformation, driven mainly by industries like agrobusiness and tourism. So major players, often big corporations, transnational ones to be more specific, they dominate the economy using both urban and rural resources, pushing out small locals to the margins. So while this has led to economic success, according to the article, it has also increased socioeconomic inequalities and environmental degradation. For example, land speculation and water overuse are creating unsustainable farming practices. So rural spaces are often viewed as land reserves for urban development and are turned into large-scale industrial farms that are focused on the export. So the authors argue that this urban-centric model, while is generally and globally successful, fails to ensure local sustainability on a smaller scale. Agadir's rural areas are facing increased vulnerabilities, with small-scale farmers being pushed out and local resources being overexploited. In essence, the article questions the long-term viability of this development approach and its implications for rural livelihoods in Agadir, Morocco, and its environment. So, moving on to the critique. In terms of objectivity, the author maintains a balanced tone throughout most of the article. They do a good job at highlighting the economic benefits of globalization, but they are also quite critical of the environmental and social impacts. So there is quite a sense of urgency in their tone. Especially when discussing the depletion of those natural resources and the rising inequalities. However, the article avoids becoming overly subjective or even emotional, so it sticks to an analytical approach that present the facts clearly, with a cautionary stance, of course, and you can feel a sense of urgency from the authors. So when we look at comprehensiveness, the article covers quite a wide range of economic and environmental aspects, but I do believe it could have gone deeper in a few areas. For instance, I think it would have been interesting to hear more of the rural population's point of views, and how they were affected by these changes. So, including their perspective would have added a more human aspect to the analysis. Additionally, while the article focuses heavily on the economic and environmental issues, it doesn't offer much insight into potential social and cultural impacts, as how these rural Moroccan communities are adapting to the changes in their daily lives. So another point to consider in this critique is the practicality of the article. So while the authors do a good job at outlining the risks and the vulnerabilities present, they fall short when it comes to providing concrete solutions. They effectively identify those problems, but they, like land overuse, water depletion, social inequalities, but they don't give a clear sense of what can be done next to address these challenges. So this is what makes the article feel more like a warning and a description of the problems rather than a roadmap. So overall, while this article presents a well-rounded and critical analysis of Agadir's urbanization and its effect on rural areas, it could benefit from a deeper exploration of certain aspects. But despite these gaps, I think it raises important questions about long-term sustainability of the current development model in rural areas, making it a valuable contribution to discussions of urbanism and rural dynamics. So, to conclude, the article Agadir and its rural environmental under urban influence is a valuable piece of media that informs the reader on the different causes, problems, and realities that come with the urbanization of a rural area, specifically the one of Agadir in Morocco. So my critique, its main points focus on objectivity, how the article was mainly objective while still giving a message to the reader, its comprehensiveness that could have used a more human approach, practicality, and its relevance to the field. So to finish, our future research could explore innovative ways to integrate urban and rural development, ensuring that local communities benefit from economic growth while preserving their resources and cultural heritage. So that was my presentation. Thank you guys for listening.